Well, howdy ho, Stampers. Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and today I'm going to show you how to do this adorable little box. But what I really want to focus on today is the technique I did for this. It's a different way to mask. I think it's an easier way, and I think it's a nicer way to mask than just using a Post-it note. So that's what I'm going to really focus on. I used what I call contact paper, but this is removable contact paper, and I just think it works so much better than a Post-it note, and you get so much in a roll, so it will go on forever and ever and ever. So it is just clear matte, transparent contact paper. This happens to be the Contact brand. I'm sure there's others out there, but it has to be removable. It can't be permanent. All right, and you can just find that in one of your local box stores. Let me just show you a couple of other examples. So the card that we're going to do, like I said, is really adorable, and we're going to focus on this. Now this happens to be that Uplift, which is the balloon die, and then I'm going to use, for this one, I actually used our little turtle die, okay? It's a whole set. It's got a stamp that matches with it, but you want a die that you can actually recognize, so you can actually recognize that that is a turtle. For this one, we used just our circle dies. And then for this one, I just used one of our rectangle dies, and instead of using a background on this, I used watercolor paper and used some of just our regular stamps. But it really does work nicely with our background stamps. So that was one of our old background stamps. Just love it. And like I said, you can use whatever die that you want. We're going to be using the balloon die right here. Okay, so the first thing that I did was I ran this through my Amaze machine with the die, okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you know which side you want this on. So what I do, and I'll show you what I mean by that, I used it with the words facing up so that when I put this on my paper, I know that the balloon is going that way. If I did it this way, okay, and I ran it through my machine, and then I went to put it on my paper, the balloon would be on the opposite side. It sounds like it's kind of elementary, but you'd be surprised at how many people have that reverse image because they cut their die out backwards. So all I did was I cut this from my contact paper. Now don't throw this away because you can use this as a mask going the other way, all right? But for this project, we're going to use this full sheet right here. And the reason I like to use a full sheet is because it actually stays on the paper better, and when you start using your coloring media, you want to make sure that you don't get it outside the die that you're using. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off the cover sheet right here. Now this is what I was telling you if you wanted to do it backwards, okay? So I'm going to take this off, and this one is going to be going the opposite way, and I wanted to just show you what I meant by that, okay? So I cut it out so it looked like this, all right? But then when you take it off, it goes backwards. So just be mindful of that when you are when you're cutting out your image, all right? And this one doesn't have to be anywhere perfect because it's just going to be a balloon that's hanging in the air. All right, so here, all I did was put my contact paper on, make sure it's nice and secure, but remember, it does come off. Now, the reason I like to let it hang over is because while I'm working on it, I can actually put it onto my paper right here, and it's not going to move. And that's kind of important when you're, well, that is really important when you're doing your coloring, because you want to make sure that none of it goes underneath it, and you want to make sure that it doesn't move as you're doing it. All right, so here is this. Now for this project, I'm going to use our liquid colors. All right, you can also use your pan pastels. You can use your re-inkers. I'm going to actually use our liquid colors. Now let me just show you what a couple of them look like that are different. So this was one that was done with liquid color. All right, this one is one that was done with our, these are done with our pan pastels. And this one was just done with our re-inkers. Now, the reason I don't like the re-inkers as much as I do the pan pastels is because they do bleed a little bit, and that is because they don't dry as fast. All right, so just know that when you're working with it, you can do one color and then stop, let it dry, then go to the next color, stop and let it dry. But with our liquid colors, because they dry so fast, it's just absolutely beautiful. See that? Just pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the piece that we can get rid of that piece right there. We're going to take this piece right here, and we're going to take an old block, and I'm just going to add some of our color to it. So this one right here is our Catalina Splash. And I have Watermelon Fusion. And I have our Lemon Drop. And you only need a dollop of this, all right, unless you're going to do many, many, many of them. But you want to take your little daubers, and we're going to just soak up all of the ink that's there. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I like to have the picture in there to show you what we're working on. I'm going to start at the bottom with our Catalina Splash, and I'm just going to suck up all the ink that's on my block, and I'm going to start off the paper and just kind of go on the paper. So I'm going from lighter to darker, and as I go up, I'm just going to kind of feather it out just a little bit to give it that lighter look. All right, so it blends nicely with the next color. Alrighty, so there's that one. That one's all done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top piece, which is the Lemon Drop, and I'm going to soak up all that color. And I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Now you'll notice that I'm doing the middle last. And the reason I do that is because of the feathering. You don't have to, I just think it's easier. All right? Alrighty, there we go. So now what we're going to do is take our Watermelon Fusion and just do the middle part of it. See that? Isn't that so pretty? There. So that alone is absolutely gorgeous. And I just did that with our small daubers. So we'll get those out of the way, we'll get our block out of the way, and we're done with that. Now, literally, this part of it's done, but you can't take this off. The reason you can't take this off is because we have to do our background stamp. Now, remember, I'm going to do one a little bit different. I'm going to use the Create a Dot on this one. So what I'm going to do now is to lift this up, and I'm going to take and put it on here, okay? So I'm going to take my Catalina Splash and just ink this up. And then add this piece to it, all right? Making sure that you get all the way around the whole balloon. And then we're just going to lift it up. And this is what it looks like. All right, now you want to be very careful because this is wet, all right? And it doesn't dry because it's on this non-porous paper. So we're just going to lift this up. Now what you can do is you can literally take this, wipe it off, and keep reusing it if you want to. Okay, so here is our little balloon right here, and now all we have to do is finish it up. Alrighty, now I have a few cute little techniques for you. Alright, so there's that part of it. Now what I need to do is to just add my balloons, which I pre-cut, and we're going to add those with our foam squares. All right, so now I've got a few, this is another really cute little thing right here. So I just made little strings hanging from our balloons right here. But what I wanted to show you is how I made the curly ones. So I took our twine right here, and then what I did was I took and wrapped it around just a skewer, and this is a fatter skewer than your normal average skewers are, and I just wrapped it around, and then I took just everyday, let me just show you, I just took everyday hairspray, and then I sprayed it and I let it dry. So now, I just taped it on here, so now when I go to take it off, it stays curled, and I can use as much or as little as I want. Isn't that adorable? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these to my little balloon. So I'll make each one of these curly just so that you can see how easy this is. And like I said, it's just done with hairspray. And believe it or not, it stays that way. So let me just get my, my little journey dots here because I want to take and put them on here to hold these, okay? And let's see, I'll take this one, and this one won't be that big. And you can just unravel it just a little bit. Here we go. Alrighty, so I'm just going to open this one just a little bit. But it's nice and stiff. See, isn't that so cute? So let me just bring back in my other box that I finished previously. I'm going to add my card to it. And then here is the original one that I did. I added some tissue paper to this one instead of a bow, but you can decorate them any way that you want. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. You take care, have a great day, and I'm so happy to have done this for you. Bye-bye.